Hey cuties, what's up? We are back with some more reactions after dark, and we are of course going to be watching I Ruined My Life just to get revenge on my Asian tiger mom, obviously by Stephanie Sue. This is another Juicy Confessions video. It's number 10, but it's not in the playlist. But there's like a number 10 on the thumbnail somewhere. Because I was looking to see like what the next confession video is, since it's kind of hard to tell since all you can see is like 3 years ago, 2 years ago. So you can't see the exact date of these things unless I maybe like you click on them and then look down. No, it just says 3 years ago, so I don't know which one came before the others because there's no playlist for it, right? So, oof. But yeah, forgot that I could keep doing more juicy stuff since technically we haven't finished them. She just never put them in a playlist. She just doesn't bother with playlists after a certain point. I don't know why. I guess like 3 years ago or so, she just like, I'm not doing playlists anymore. I'm not bothering doing playlists anymore. So yeah, it's going to be hard to find the rest of these videos, but we're back with that. I know I keep talking about doing the marry my husband thing, but again, I don't know when we're going to get around to that. Kinda am really busy yesterday, today, the next day, and the day after that. So it's kind of like, oof, trying to fit in doing these videos anyways, and I kind of need to get back in the groove of doing a lot of videos. There's just stuff, you know, stuff still going on in real life. Hopefully by Friday, I was gonna say by Friday, by February, I can just have like a billion videos a day. Fun fact, toyed about the channel. I don't know how long ago it was. 2016 seems not long enough. Could have been even before that. I'm going to say somewhere between 2012, maybe just 2013, like somewhere between 2011 and 2013. 2016 doesn't seem right. Let's go with that. Between 2011 and 2014, I actually uploaded 9 videos a day for a while. They're all like little indie games and stuff, but I uploaded 9 videos a day because there's this YouTuber that I watched who I liked who did roughly the same kind of thing back then, like uploaded, I don't know, easily like 7 videos or something a day. And I was like, you know, I'm going to do that. I'm going to upload 9 videos a day and say, hey, look, I'm uploading even more than so-and-so. And specifically it was a 9 because you haven't caught on the motif of the channel. I mean, it used to be 9, still is technically 9, like one of the motifs. Because my old name was like Abomination 9, then A-Bomb 9, just to shorten that. My brand, if we want to call it that, is Apocalypse 9. Cutie, the word cutie is made up of the number 9, just in Japanese. So again, like 9's a lot. So I used to upload a lot. It has been a long time since then, obviously. I mean, over a decade since I was doing stuff like that. I don't know if I can end up doing that nowadays. Because I would have to have, like, what? I don't know. A bunch of videos that are just, like, really short to upload. Like, I could do that, but I don't know what that would even be. Anyways, just a fun fact, because nobody here knows that I used to do that. Like, actually sit here and upload 9 videos a day, you know, trying to get noticed. But again, as usual, no hater segment. I haven't seen any hate comments at all. I don't expect any to come in, you know, unless someone's like faking and like trying to get a hate comment in for the hater segment. No radical break, even though I should. Maybe I could just go play like a regular game in the middle instead of doing the VR stuff. I still haven't set up how I want for the specific game, which is why I've been holding off on the radical break stuff. Yeah. No hater comment, no radical break, as has been usual for around here, but should get back to that eventually. Again, maybe February we can start like just having a billion videos a day, but that's just hoping, and it probably isn't going to happen.
embarrassed because I said that end of an era, and then here we are again every single day. Hi,
What is? I don't know what that video is about. Was it end of doing confessions or something?
everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Stephanie, and today we are back with another mukbang. And we're matching.
What was up with that? But yeah, as usual, we'll skip past the actual mukbang part of the video. Okay, guess it's here. This screen popped up. Confessions with Stephanie Sue. So I'd have to assume she's about to get into the confessions. She had an ad for ExpressVPN. Same thing as usual, ExpressVPN/Bish. Bish for that. Again, I say it all the time. Let's wait till the food gets on the screen. Oh, hold on. I'm going to mute that. Because I forget, like, the other day, was it the Karen Reed video or another one? Because one of the recent, I think it was a Karen Reed interview video that got copyrighted because of, like, what, 2 seconds of music? And I forget, like, Stephanie, like, I think buys, like, some of this video to use in the video, or at least one song. But it must have been another one. And I don't trust what that, like, elevator music that just played there. I'm probably still gonna have to cut it out later. Anyways, what I wanted to say, again, this food must be so unhealthy. So many calories, so much salt, and Stephanie weighs like what, 2 pounds? Despite that, like, what is going on?
At the age of
Even him too, I guess. Oh, whoops! I went too far. Oof.
Number 1. At the age of 19, I started having really bad cases of, UTIs, chronic
Sure, I was not expecting that.
a urinary tract infection. So a girl, after you do any sort of nasty business, you gotta go use the restroom. Now, one time I didn't. It's like, I had it recently, you pee, and it's like Satan's blood is running out of your urethra. It is so painful, and you have to pee non-stop. I think that day, I probably was using, did you know how sometimes I like to play mobile games at night?
Yeah.
I was sitting on the toilet playing mobile games, and I wasn't pooing, I was just drizzle, 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 there was nothing to even come out. It's like
kind of like
hot
kidney
sauce.
stone.
Ooh, yeah, because I've never had a kidney stone. Are you okay?
No, I'm okay, but I'm just...
Yeah, have you had a kidney stone?
No, I know someone that had it.
Wow, okay. I feel like I didn't explain a UTI, I just explained it.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think
Your
that's
experience,
That's
I
a
like
good
it.
definition, babe.
Okay, you're right. Let me Google it. It's an infection inside of your bladder, the kidneys, or the urethra.
It's treatable though.
Yeah,
Usually you recover within a few days.
A change in detergent or intercourse could start when almost instantly. Unfortunately, this whole situation took place during the start of the pandemic, so having an appointment at the clinic was literally impossible. This one time, the worst time actually, I simply couldn't wait since the pain and discomfort was intolerable, so I took myself to the emergency room in hopes of getting help ASAP.
Okay. Will they actually help you in the emergency room for something like that? I don't know. I assume so, but I feel like they'll get mad at you if you come in there and it's not like a catastrophic emergency. Because I feel like I've heard that before. Then, like, if you're not in pain, they're like, okay, why are you here then? And almost in like, why are you wasting our time? We could be helping someone who's like about to die kind of way, right?
Picture this. I am in sweat, in the worst pain of my life as I enter the hospital, and I am greeted by this mesmerizing, sexy angel of a nurse. I don't usually care for the muscular type, but he was just so gorgeous, and the way that his medical uniform fit so tight against his chest and his arms and his thighs, it made him look like he was about to roleplay his way into my pants. Not to mention, he also had these breathtaking facial features. After hours of ongoing pain, exhaustion, needless to say, he was a sight for sore eyes. He took my temperature, gave me a change of masks, COVID days, and instructed me into the waiting room. I sat down, I tried to wait while telling myself that it would soon be over, right? At some point during my wait, I rushed to the bathroom. I don't know about you, but in my case, when I'm sick to this point, everything inside me stops working, okay? Let's just say my digestive system didn't do a good job of solidifying the delivery.
Oh my god, not when I'm eating tiramisu.
And all of a sudden, I'm kind of full.
The delivery, okay? I quickly returned to the waiting room as I knew I was in the next couple of people to be seen. Soon enough, it was my turn, and I got into the small consultation room where, of course, I was met with a sexy nurse again.
Of course, but is she going to be embarrassed about this, or are they just going to, have extracurricular activities at this hospital? Like, where is this going to go? Because I don't know what she's trying to get at.
As if having to explain to the most handsome man you've ever seen that you're going through insane constant urinary problems wasn't embarrassing enough, he then proceeded to the exam. Yeah, he had to take my temperature through my anus.
Anus as in butthole?
Yeah, you know sometimes that's the best way to take a temp.
What?
Yeah, you better glove up. We're
Isn't that how
popping
they do
in.
to babies?
Yeah, I think so. I had never been so uncomfortable in my whole life. I know that no matter how handsome he is, he's still a nurse, and he's probably seen worse, right? Whoa.
I think I just understood what the problem's going to be. I don't know what she's saying.
Whoa, bro.
Whoa. I think she's just talking about like what he said. This could, I mean, this rolls back to the last confession. I remember what I said, or hopefully you don't remember what I said in that video, but wasn't there a story in there where that story was so freaking weird and just, it's so current generation, I think, with that story. The one I'm talking about is 3 girls, I guess a lesbian couple and a trans girl. Question mark. Trans girl wanted or asked this couple that was together if she could have, I guess the writer's girlfriend peg her, and then the writer didn't get the hint and let their girlfriend do it, even though the girlfriend didn't want to, and it turns out that the person who wanted to be pegged was like they didn't clean their back door, if you get what I'm saying. I mean, you were there. If you're watching this, you were there for that video, so you already know what I'm talking about, right? I don't have to explain it. So she just said she went to the restroom, right? And I'm just going to assume like she literally just went to the bathroom in this story. So he's going to check her temperature, and he's going to see her freshly used backdoor, question mark. So like I'm already just like, that has to be what it is, like oof. Because she's talking about like, oh, he's seen everything, right? But you just used the bathroom, didn't you? And I think she was talking about like doing more than just number 1, right?
Oh.
What does that mean?
But the thought, it has probably seen worse, but the thought of my freshly wiped ass also didn't help my nerves. Oh, this is so stressful to me.
Really? Like, let's just move along.
So I laid down on the examination table and pulled my pants down as he told me, hoping that no tiny, meany little microscopic particles of poo would even dare to join the fun.
Well, I mean, of course they're going to be. You expect to get all that off. You expect to get all that off at home. Even you expect to actually do that in a hospital with probably what, 1-ply toilet paper, like no bidet, etc., etc. Like I don't think so. Question mark. Also, why is this one already starting off like gross? How many times am I just like, can we just have something silly? And you can argue this is silly, but it is gross. Question mark. But yeah, I mean, rest in peace. Like, you're about to show him some oof.
I guess the mix of my nervousness and overall sickness played against me, because as soon as he parted my ass cheeks, I let out a painful fart that smelled
God, bro.
exactly how I had been feeling. Really.
I don't know how you recover from that. Like, how do you just not just... Like, I'm joking, but how do you just, like, not jump off a bridge? Like, okay, game over, I guess. Like, let's try again next time. Right? Maybe in the next life. I need a game up. Game up, what the heck? I need a 1-up? Question mark? We need to try again, please. Reincarnate me into someone who's not going to do this. Thank you.
My fight, flight, or freeze activated, and I froze into place.
No, that's worse.
Not saying a word. He finished the job and went on with the exam. The worst part is, he ended up prescribing me my antibiotics and dared to add, "Did you also need me to prescribe something for your digestion?"
I mean, at least he's being professional and doing his job, right? Like, as he should. Question mark.
I turned red with embarrassment and let out a weak, "No thanks," before rushing out. It was painfully embarrassing to me, but my best friend sure found it a hilarious story.
Of course.
Bruh.
I mean, at least you had a
Again, how do you just like, okay, I'm done. I'm done with life, game over.
mask on.
That's crazy. I don't know. I can't even relate to you, bro. That's really embarrassing. That's really embarrassing.
I'll never go back.
Damn. Have you ever like had to show your butt to a healthcare professional or anything like that?
In Korea.
You had to show your whole butt? How'd it feel? Was it nice?
It was kind of embarrassing.
Am I an asshole? People are using this as an am I an asshole Reddit thread. Am I an asshole for not inviting my quote poor friends to my birthday party?
Oh, that is a sentence and a half.
Okay, that's not a good intro.
Already there. I'm that.
Oh yeah, I didn't talk about the title of this video. Tiger Mom, I think she's used the term before. I don't know what that exactly is, Asian Tiger Mom. I don't know if it's like a helicopter mom. I think it's just like a really like strict Asian mom, I think, is what Asian Tiger Mom is. I think helicopter mom obviously is something different. It's like someone who will not unglue themselves from the child, question mark. But I'm assuming Tiger Mom is just like an incredibly aggressive, strict, ferocious mom. I'm just using words that describe a tiger, question mark.
Yeah. Okay, before you come at me, let me explain. I'm 25 years old and I'm in college. I decided to enroll in a state university, which is free, and it's very close to my house, since I don't like going out of town just to study in these bigger universities. And since it's free, most of the students there are struggling financially, and a lot of them live in the poorest sides of town. Hear me out. This is not like a pick-me story. I admit that I live in a comfortable life and I have never struggled financially because of my family support. I live in the Philippines, so the poor here is very different from the poor in America. They live in tiny box houses, no ceiling, bare plywood walls, and sometimes just cardboard boxes all stapled together. I've never said anything about my background to any of my classmates, even if I commute with them and eat with them every day. I want to avoid being insensitive about these matters, so I don't share what isn't required to be shared. I studied high school in LA and went back to the Philippines for college. Now in Asia, especially in the Southeast, if you stepped your feet in America, everyone thinks you've already made it. You've reached the American dream. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. So one day after class, I went with my classmate to finish our research paper at their house, and I was astounded by how small and how steep the way to her house. There's more. The neighborhood is greatly dense and polluted. When we got to their house, her mom was washing the clothes in front of their house using what she said was rainwater that she collected from the day before. Her house is a little smaller than my bedroom, and they share it as a family of 5. She said they all sleep on the floor in their living room. That's also their kitchen, which is also their dining room. They all just move things aside when it's bedtime so that they can create space to lie down. And after what she told me, she asked me, do you guys sleep on the floor too, or do you guys share a bedroom? I was honestly speechless because, again, I don't want to be insensitive and tell her, oh, I have my own room, while her mom and her other siblings are staring at me, so I just kind of told her, we share a room. After finishing our research paper, their mom was kind enough to ask me to join them for dinner, but I saw that they shared 2 cans of sardines and a large bowl of rice for dinner, so I politely declined, and I said that my mom was looking for me and I need to go home. When I got home, I realized how huge our house is. We have maids, our fridge is full, we have our own bedrooms, our house is well lit.
Maids, like Jesus Christ! I thought she was just like a normal person. Like she's rich.
And we have large spaces to share. I felt a sense of guilt that I just couldn't explain. Like it feels so wrong to be grateful that I'm in a better life condition. So anyway, my birthday is 3 days away, and my mom invited all my cousins and childhood friends. They're all snotty and always love to brag about their cars, handbags, shoes, everything.
I think I already get what she's getting at. Like, she doesn't want to invite her poor friends because she doesn't want them to be miserable at the fact of how poor they are compared to how she is. Like, she doesn't want to. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I mean, everyone probably already understands like what she means by that. Like, she's already feels guilty for being rich. In my opinion, she's rich. So she doesn't want to like almost rub that in her quote unquote poor friend's face. It's like, oh, look how rich and opulent I am, right? Opulent, etc., etc. So that's why she's not inviting them. She doesn't want to make them feel bad.
My own car, but there's no parking space in my school, and I don't want to arrive in school in a car full of students commuting that are walking on their way to class. My mom asked me if I'm going to invite my classmates to add to her guest list, but I said no. The next day I was in class and my classmates surprised me with a cake that they all chipped in to buy. I feel like an asshole for not inviting them, but I just don't want them to be laughed at by my cousins and my snobby childhood friends. I feel very guilty and I felt so entitled and I don't deserve my classmates. No one has ever gotten me a cake, even when I was in high school, except, my parents, of course. So 2 days after, the party came and went and it was mid. I had never felt so bad in my life. I don't know what to do. My asshole, my pick-me, or entitled bits. And if you're asking why I'm 25 and still living with my mom, it's because I'm Southeast Asian, okay? So true.
Yeah, I'm at the point where it's like, if you're living with your parents, like, good for you, right? It's from what I understand, it's a very American thing to like kick your child to the curb at 18. Like everyone else, apparently, they're like, no, just live with your parents. The cultures, your parents live with you, your grandparents live with you, same house. Grandparents probably, pass in the house. Then your parents pass. Your kids live in your house. You pass? ? Hopefully not. Hopefully they invent a fountain of youth before then. Then your kids are still living in the same house, and then like, so on and so forth. Like there's a lot of cultures like that where the family just lives in the house, and the entire generation just stays there forever, right? I mean, not everyone, right? You know, there's exceptions to the rule in those cultures. Is obviously like some people want to move out and be by themselves, but I think it's a very, very American thing to, again, kick your child to the curb at 18 is like get lost, right? And I don't think it's like that big of a thing anymore. Maybe just because of how rough the economy is? Question mark. That I don't think it's that uncommon for people to live with your parents. Question mark. So like I'm like, also we're talking about like a girl question mark here. So even then I'm like, okay, I don't care if you're like 50 and still living with your mom who's like 80. I don't care. Question mark. Cough. Yeah, I don't care. That's not a bad thing to me. I know it's like an insult to be a quote unquote basement dweller for specifically for men. I don't know if like women have gotten the same kind of treatment when it comes to that. Like if you're a guy and you live with your parents, it's like you should just like jump off a bridge? Question mark, because you're a loser if you still live with your parents as a guy. I don't know if women still get the same treatment in that regard. I don't know. Again, like if you're, so I'm just gonna say if you're a guy and you live with your parents, who cares? Question mark. Especially if they're old. Yeah, just a long tangent there.
Fan since 2017, and you're my happy pill. You, Mr. Mango Butt, Tiffany, and my ultimate crush, Dan. And then she added a LMAO. I don't think you're the asshole.
I don't think that was an
That was actually very nice.
Yeah, that's actually like very mature. Like I would imagine that a lot of kids would just say, no, I want to invite them, they're my friends, and then they would get their feelings hurt, and then you're like, oh shit, what do I do now, right? But you had the forethought, which I think is incredible, but wow.
Wow.
I think that's the right move.
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't you do you do the same, right?
Yeah, but I think I'm always humbled by these stories because I'm sure we can, like most of us can relate. You know, we always complain about going to school, and then I hear stories of people literally giving up everything to go to school, and then I just feel like utter trash. I'm like, I can't believe I literally sat there like, Mom, I don't want to go to school today. It makes me want to punch myself in the face.
Oh god, we're gonna do this every time. I can't trust Stephanie. I can't trust you with this audio. So
Let me tell you, this was about 3 years ago when me and my high school sweetheart were going through a breakup because I wouldn't do sleepovers at his house. So that night, I thought about just
okay, but by sleepovers, do you mean extracurricular activities, or do you just mean like sleeping over?
doing it and making him happy. So I asked my friend if I could sleep over at her house and wait for my mom to call and then go to his house. Yeah, well, I wasn't dumb. I knew my mom would drive by his house to look for my car, so he picked me up, and well, let's just say that the night was filled with anger, sadness, and embarrassment. So when he picked me up, he drove me all the way to my house, parked in front, and told me to get out because he was gonna embarrass me like I embarrassed him because I wouldn't sleep over at his house.
Wait. So he
Whoa.
took her to
Huh?
basically her mom. He said, "Go tell your mom right now."
Yeah. What's wrong with
That is the biggest red flag I've ever heard.
I was like, okay, bye, goodbye. We're not together anymore, right? Like
I was crying
right
because I
there.
knew I would get my ass beat by my military dad and my strict mom if they found out. So I begged him to drive away, and after 15 minutes, we did. Oh no.
What?
Oh my god. Like people who like to wield their power like that, like will park in front of. I've heard of parents doing this. They'll park in front of like a police station and literally watch their kids have meltdowns in just pure terror. And like something about that gets them off, and it's so sick. Oh, he took me back to my friends, and we fought for what felt like hours. And then finally, I got him to just take me to his house, and we did. We got there, and he starts drinking.
Why? Why would you even go anywhere with this guy? Shouldn't it just be like, okay, screw you, goodbye. I'm gonna hang out with my friend because I was already here anyways. Screw you. I don't want to see you again. Done. Of course, we're talking about a teenager, right? So they don't know any better. Question mark.
And we end up doing the thing. Anyways, he fell
Really? Also, we're talking about high school again, so this is talking about a teenager getting drunk, or not necessarily getting drunk but drinking.
asleep. But I was awake because I was scared. My mom knew what was happening. So I was awake and his phone was going off, and me being stupid, I looked. Oh my god, my phone just went off. I broke my own heart that night because he had another girl over at his house before he came to me. And she told him when he was done with me to go pick her back up because she wasn't finished with him.
Wow.
Oof.
Who even wants that, no?
The heck? She already knows that he's messing her, that he has a girlfriend. I guess she's a Sancha, right? She's a Sancha, and she knows she's a Sancha, so she's just like, I'm just embracing the fact that she is, quote unquote, the Sancha. And we need to bring back Sancho and Sancha. Though I don't know if anyone is using those words outside of, I don't know, Mexican culture / Texas, question mark. Because now we have, what do we call it now? Side piece? Side chick? Something like that? Side expletive, question mark. Like back in my day, in the prehistoric times, we used the term Sancho and Sancha if you had like a side person on top of the girlfriend or boyfriend, right? So, can we bring that back? If it ever was a thing outside of Texas, / I would assume Mexico, question mark.
I was so sick to my stomach and so hurt and mad because I had no way of getting home without my family finding out or him being an ass. So I faked it and I put on a smile until he took me to my friend's house, and then it went downhill from there. So because he was texting and meeting other girls, I thought it was okay to do so too. So I made an account, but not on the site that you're thinking of. So in my mind at the time, I was like, why not get paid to talk to people? So I made a profile on a sugar daddy website, and my life hit the fan so bad. I didn't know what you weren't supposed to do certain things, and I did it all on that website. The person I was texting was not who the pictures were, so he told me to download Cash App, so I did, and then he would send me $1,000 every week just to talk. Or so I thought. At this point, I thought I was thriving. I thought I was having the time of my life.
Cash App. So this must be recent then, right?
Wrong.
It's a young person.
3 months, and I made $17,000.
Sheesh.
But not on Cash App. My dumb ass gave him my bank information to both my savings and my checking, and I lost.
Oof. I wish the model like showed that, because I leaned back pretty far, but it will like force itself to come back. But did she lose $17,000 because bank account and routing number?
Lost all my money.
You lost all your money. So at least it's their bank account, but it's weird for a teenager to have a bank account. Question mark. Their own bank account. I guess the parents just wanted strict parents, I guess, maybe, but I guess they could use it as a learning lesson. Be like, hey, here's a bank account, take care of it, or else we will apparently beat you up. I can see that being a thing. So again, teenagers, they don't know any better.
Oh, wait.
Everything.
Wow.
All the
What?
money. All the money.
Did she make money or lose money?
Oh no. So he was putting her money, probably putting money in her account,
And then taking more out?
and then at the end he probably like wiped it clean. He was like, "No, I want your bank account. I'm just gonna put it to you like through your bank account."
And then she gave it to him?
Yeah. Because at that point she probably had already gotten like a couple $1,000s from him and had no reason not to trust him, right?
Damn.
And lost all my money, everything. All the money I had gotten from my car accident, everything. And I had to figure out how to fix this before my parents found out. So I went to the bank and I talked to them, okay? I had to tell them that I was a sugar baby to a random ass person who was putting money in my account that was over $9,999. So the IRS had flagged it. Oh. He didn't. Wait, okay, let me
She
just
didn't pay tax. Maybe. She didn't report it.
Oh.
Needless to say, the bank closed my account and said they won't ever do business with me again. And then the lady was like, listen, if I was your mom, this is what you need to do. You need to get a new bank as soon as possible because after these 7 days, your name is going on the fraud list and you will not be able to get a bank account for a really, really long time. So I was my pants. How the fuck was I gonna get a whole bank account with another bank without my parents knowing? So
How is this even like real? Like, gets screwed over, gets scammed by some fake sugar daddy, gets her account closed, gets potentially put on a fraud list as a teenager. Remember, we're talking about a teenager, I think. Like, how is it going this badly?
for 3 days I was crying, not eating nothing, and the guy who put the money in my account to get the IRS to flag it had the audacity to tell me your bank better send me all that money back. Like, are you stupid? So long story short, I had to tell my mom and she thought I was pregnant and I was like, ew, no way in hell. But she was shocked as hell that I got $17,000 in the span of 3 months and I'd managed to lose it all. So, in the end, my mom got me a new bank account. I'm no longer with that douche from high school. I built my savings back up and found the light, you know? So the lesson I learned was never give your real name, your phone number, and bank stuff. Use Cash App or money apps like that and keep getting that money. By the way, I've been dying watching the confession videos. Love you guys.
Okay, well, I mean, at least honesty won the day there, question mark. Just told her mom, like, yeah, got screwed over. At least everything worked out in the end. I mean, she lost a bunch of money, but I'm guessing maybe she didn't have any money to begin with. Maybe, well, she did have some money in there, I'm guessing, but she just lost all the money she did make from the guy, which honestly doesn't really matter, right?
I love you too. Wait, so my reading comprehension is so bad. I'm so sorry. Okay.
Wait, so basically she got 17,000 from talking to him.
And then got flagged by IRS.
And it
Yeah.
got flagged by IRS because it was so much.
No, when you receive more than 9,999, like more than as soon as you hit 10 grand, you have to report the money
Like
to-
right away?
Technically,
Tax.
they want to know.
Oh,
What's the money for? Yeah, I don't know why. It's also hard to see the IRS coming after someone who's so young and little. Like it's kind of confusing. There must be something triggered it.
You think maybe it's the bank?
It could be the
Could be
bank.
the bank, yeah.
'Cause
I
that's a
don't
lot
think
of
it's
money.
yeah, I don't think it's the IRS.
Bank will
Maybe it's
ask.
the bank. Like she didn't do it correctly.
Maybe.
And the bank was like, we're not gonna do this.
Well, that's funny because IRS never answers their call. I mean, phone number.
Do they have a phone number? IRS is in the business of taking your money and not listening to a single thing you say. They're not gonna help you with anything. I'm just kidding. I love the IRS. They're my best friend. I love them. Damn, that is a also that's so scary because I remember they don't take that lightly. When I was coming from Korea for the first time, my dad made it seem like they were gonna shake me down if I had more than like $9,999 in cash because sometimes I don't know if my parents were money laundering. Sometimes they would give me cash to bring back and forth, you know? Yeah. Not like back and forth, but then I would like get cash from someone in Korea, then I would bring it back to the US. And they were like, okay, you need to tell them A, B, C, and D if they ask you. They're gonna sit you in this room, and I'm like, wait, I'm like,
Bro, the room
12.
is the worst. They're so scared of getting taken away into a room.
Yeah, I've never been in a room. Have you been in a room?
I heard horror
IRS
stories.
takes you to a room?
No.
I don't know what they're talking about.
What are they
The
called?
customs. Wait, what happened when you came to America? Didn't they ask you a bunch of questions?
Yeah. I don't think it was that
was in a
scary.
room? Yeah.
But the prepping was scary.
Oh, because they made you feel like you were gonna get shaken down.
They need to prep you. They're like, okay, so when you go to America, you wanna make sure when they ask you, you just be honest. Don't be nervous. They're like giving you a whole thing, and they made me cough too.
With your balls?
Yeah.
Well, no wonder you like America so much.
What?
Why would they do that? Question mark. That doesn't make sense. That's like a medical exam thing. Like they don't need to know that. Like why would they need to know that?
This is the time Stephanie saved a little demon.
Stephanie?
Oh, me? There was this demon that never liked to show themselves unless it was dark and gloomy outside. Every day it was hard to get up.
I guess they're talking about themselves. Question mark.
Every day it was hard for the little demon to even
They
look
are
like
the
they knew where
demon.
This is going.
Wait, what? Honey, what are you saying?
I shouldn't be laughing, but
Like why are you breaking down like nothing's happened?
Every day it's hard to get up. They never like to show themselves unless it's dark and gloomy outside. When I was depressed, I hated sunny days. Hated sunny days. It's like a juxtaposition, you know, of how you feel inside and in the sun. After a while, the demon was done with all the verbal, sexual, and physical abuse. It was easy for the demon to come to the conclusion that they would save everyone time and energy if they just weren't part of this world anymore. They have always struggled to continue to live until little fairy and her friends and partner came along. She didn't know it, but the little demon would show genuine smiles and laughter when the fairy would talk to them. Of course, the demon soon realized that the fairy truly didn't know who the little demon was. However, that mattered less over time, since what truly mattered was that the fairy had brought happiness and will to live to the little demon. There isn't a day that goes by without the demon thanking the fairy, even if she never hears it or sees it. It's weird because it's like, you say that, but I feel like you gave me too. So it's like really weird who's the demon, who's the fairy, you know? This is a story I wrote for you, little fairy, your friends Panda and Tiffany, and your partner Mr. Mango Butt. It was short, but I hope it reminds you that you will always have people that support you, love you, and are grateful for your existence. That also goes for Dan and Tiffany and Mr. Mango Butt. I'm genuinely grateful, and I genuinely love you all. Love, your loyal demon. I'm gonna cry. This is supposed to be like a funny video, but I love you so
I mean, what do you mean you're gonna cry? You literally cried like a second into that sentence. I don't know how it happened so quickly. Like she read like one sentence and started breaking down. So, what do you mean, Stephanie? You're already crying.
Sorry. Let me just collect myself.
Oh my God, Stephanie, not the music.
Well, hello, bits, and I love you. Second of all, I suck ass at writing, so bear with me. I'm gonna get straight into it. I have 2 children. This night, both of them were at my sister's house because me and my husband wanted a night to ourselves. Keep in mind, we live in apartments. Now, we're doing the do. Okay, whoa, you're just parents getting loose, going straight into it. And due to the fact that it was just us, we're doing some kinky ass shit in the living room. All of a sudden, I get a loud ass knock on the door.
Oof.
My husband slipped his clothes on while I went to the bathroom to finish dressing while he went to the door. Now, when I come out, there's a police officer, and my husband's laughing his ass off, and I'm confused. The officer looks at my husband and asks why he's laughing and not in.
Okay, let's try to figure out what's gonna happen. Either they were doing some weird stuff to the point where someone thought someone was dying in here, getting killed? Question mark. Someone called the cops because they thought someone was getting murdered? Question mark. Or their windows wide open and people are just seeing them going at it crazy and it looked like someone's getting killed. Or like who knows? That's what I'm going with. I think they're like having so much fun it sounded like bloody murder and they got the cops called on them.
Answering his question. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh, damn.
My husband looks at him and waves me over, and I kid you not. He goes, "Officer, to answer your question, no, nobody was being murdered."
Oh my.
Yep, told you. I knew it. They were screaming bloody murder.
I instantly knew that we were being too loud, and someone thought that we were being murdered. No.
Really? They were going at it.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow, I don't even want to
These mom and
imagine.
dads are wilding.
Oh wow.
Imagine explaining to that. Yeah,
So
imagine.
how would you say that?
The
He
only
got
thing that's
one
getting
murder.
murdered.
Is that
Oh, yeah.
Now the funny part is, we had to explain to the officer, and my husband says, well, you see, the kids aren't home, and the officer instantly knows. He peeks his head into the living room, and he chuckles, and he leaves, and he says, I'll make up an excuse for the neighbors. And that bit is the story of how my neighbor thought my husband was murdering me, because me and my husband were having loud sex. I love you, Stephanie. Thank you for reading this weird story. That's the type of parent that I aspire to be, you know?
Wow.
I think that's true love as parents. To get the cops called on you, because you're so hot and bothered.
Wow.
So good.
This again. I just hope this audio isn't copyrighted. I don't think it is, but you know, I'm just worried about it.
So sorry for bad grammar. I am not English.
What?
Guys, they just said.
I know, that's so cute.
I'm not English.
I'm not English. Okay.
Guys, they just said.
I know, that's so cute.
They just said, sorry for the bad grammar.
I'm not English.
I'm not English.
Whatever, that's that you would say. Look, bis, boo-boo, I don't know if my grandma was joking or actually believing this herself, or if it's the truth. So to give you some backstory, my grandma's from both my mom and dad's side, sadly passed away when I was 5 and 10. I'm 16 now, and, you know, it's been years ago, but I still miss them, and they're still a huge part of my childhood. Don't be sad or anything. Just trying to tell you so you get the idea, you know, the gist. Anyways, my best friend of 10 years has the sweetest grandma ever. I see my grandmas, like both of them, in this grandma. I got really close to her when I was 10, and I love her like I love my own grandma. I knew her since I was 6. She's like my third grandma, so, you know, not trying to come off as rude or disrespectful at all. You know, my grandma,
How many grandma?
my grandma, she kind of has the mindset of a child, and she can say some weird shit. Like a kid trying to lie, but it's so obvious that it's a lie. Like, I saw Beyonce in the shower. Yeah, she said that one time. I am actually a time traveler, but I'm from the year 2135. Yeah, she also said that. I think your grandma might have dementia.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, what do you mean? Like, is she just not having like memory problems, aka dementia, Alzheimer's, or something? I don't know if she's just being quirky. It's like, oh, I'm just a quirky grandma.
To be honest with you, because my grandma had dementia. I'm just saying, she said some weird stuff, yeah. Anyways, I can remember something that scared the shit, balls, sweat, blood, tears out of me. So me and my friend and our sweet grandma were home alone, and my friend and I didn't mind that the grandma was home because we love her so much, and also she can sleep through like World War 372. Like, you could scream in her ears and she wouldn't even move. So my friend left me alone with her grandma because she was at the store, like really close to where she lives. So she's buying snacks, I'm alone with grandma. And I sat and I talked to her. Here comes the juicy, soft baby girl. She asks me, is my friend home? I didn't know what to say, like, what if she has a panic attack because her grandchild is not home? But my dumbass said, like, no. Like, why? Why? Anyway, she said, are you sure? And I said, yeah. And I don't know why I said that, but I called out her name like 3 times to assure her, and after she was convinced that her grandchild was not home, she quit the child mindset act. Bis, I was so confused. Like, what the actual fuck? The fuck?
Okay. I'm trying to understand what's going on. I think is she talking to grandma, and grandma's like, hey, is so and so home? And she's like, no, they're not home. And then, like she said, she stopped the child act. Or being her quirky, I'm not like other girls' grandma act, right? She, like, how does grandma know the I'm not like other girls act, right? And now, like, what is she gonna be, like, evil or just crazy? She a cultist? Question mark? Satanist?
Anyways, she said, and I quote, look, I just feel like telling this to someone, you know, other than my family members, who I feel like would understand. When I was about your age, I was like, oh my God, no, this grandma is about to, I don't know, confess to some sort of murder, right? Anyway, she said, I was 16 or 17, and I had witnessed something that no one would believe, so I had to act sick. I fooled everyone, even my own daughter, my own mother. I'm like, okay, damn, get to the point. And she said, I witnessed screaming children in a missing airplane. And I was like, what? Screaming children? So here comes the juicy drama. So when she was out with 4 friends at around 16 or 17 years old, the 5 of them were out just in the middle of nowhere like kids would do, and it's really late at night. They can't find their way back home. They think they found the right way, but instead they found a plane just lying around. So one of the friends says, don't you want to know what an airplane looks like? So they go closer to the airplane and they see people, children screaming. Their hands have no skin, no clothing, no bones. They were scared. They ran close to a police station, got the cops, but I don't know. In the end, 3 officers was like, where did it go? The plane was gone. The cops got mad and accused them of underage drinking, so their parents got called and blah, 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 blah. So they were all confused. Nobody believes what they saw. My grandma and 2 of her other friends just kind of let it go and kind of lied. You know, they're like, yeah, maybe we're drinking, maybe we're this and that. The other 2 friends that were there, they wouldn't let it go, and they ended up taking their own lives because nobody believed them.
What?
The first one was 3 months after they saw the plane. The other one tried 3 years after. People kept telling them they were trying to get attention when they had seen nothing. The other 2 who lied with grandma sadly passed away in 2018 and 2021. My grandma is alone and has had no one to talk to, so she told me about it. It's been a week since she told me, and I'm in a dilemma. I don't know what to do. After she told me, she just said sorry and left to her room. My friend came over and I just said she was asleep and the day went as normal, but I just can't let it go. Like, do I believe her? Is it true? Or does she just believe?
Why wouldn't you believe her? I mean, it doesn't hurt anything in this scenario to believe her, right? Like, something that happened, we don't know how old her grandma is. 60 years ago? Question mark. Like, okay, just sure, it happened.
believe it's true.
Do you believe her?
Yeah.
You do?
These days, when there's no like accusation of wrongdoing against someone, I choose to believe people. Because I think it's very bizarre to make something like that up. Now, if you're like, hey, this person murdered my friend, then I would say, okay, well, we need to go through the process and figure this out because that is going to ruin a life, you know, if you just say that. But like in situations like this, I'm like, I think they need us to believe them is the feeling I get. It's almost like I don't know if it happened, but I feel like I know they need me to believe it. So I believe it.
Damn.
Yeah.
Because if I don't believe it, nothing happens. If I believe it, maybe it's better for them. Maybe it helps them. I don't know.
That's deep, honey.
Okay,
That's
sorry, I
really
don't know why I
deep.
got deep.
No, I like it.
Well, I mean, that's like the way she just phrased that is a standard way to look at religion, or at least be against atheism, because believing brings you no harm. Like so the thing is, if God exists, believing only does good. Not believing, you go to hell. Question mark. And on the other hand, you have, if there isn't a God, if you believe, you lost nothing, right? But if you don't believe, again, sure, you lost nothing, but it doesn't hurt either way to believe, but you will get screwed over if there is a God and you don't believe, right? Assuming not believing in them gets you screwed over, right? If it works that way. So yeah, there's no harm in believing because it's not going to hurt you. Whereas not believing, there's a scenario where you do get hurt. So it's better just to take the 100% safety over the 50-50.
Yeah,
go.
but like in situations like this, I want to believe it. I believe
That's
it.
very interesting.
So like again, the way she put it is like, there's no harm in believing; they just need to be believed. Question mark? Yeah, sure. There's like you lose nothing from telling them you believe them. Whereas if you tell them you don't believe them, you do lose something. They lose, like they lose something.
Way of thinking.
Yeah.
I will probably want to talk to her again
Yeah.
just to get more information and then see if you can find the record of those two
Yes.
friends. Like if they passed away since they were 16, 17, and if that's actually true, then there could be some truth to this. Which brings me to, that's a mystery. What the heck?
Yeah.
That's some crazy stuff.
That's
Why would she even lie about that if she tried to lie?
It's not lying. Like maybe she has some, like, let's say dementia. Her brain starts thinking random stuff and she thought she saw something.
Yeah, also that's really hard with people who have dementia. Not saying that your grandma does, but with my grandma, like she would flip out if you didn't believe her. It would drive her insane. You know, and like it's not a big deal. You know, sometimes you just have to believe them.
Or tell them you believe them.
So
right?
my grandfather had Parkinson's, not on this side, my other side, and he believed that there were people in the walls, and he thought that they were so loud and so annoying, right? And the one thing that we really respected my step grandmother for, not much else, okay, was the fact that every night, doesn't matter if it's 3 or 4 in the morning, her husband would wake her up. My grandpa would say, "Hey, tell those people to be quiet. They're so loud. They're in the walls again," right? She would get up, knock on the wall, and say, "Hey, can you please be quiet? My husband's trying to sleep." Yeah,
That's kind of cute.
I don't know.
Yeah, she's told that story before with the grandparents there.
Oh, that's crazy. I don't know if I would tell my friend. I might.
What, TCED talk? Huh?
This is super long, okay? This is a story
I don't know what that meant. Why do I not understand what that meant? TCED talk.
of how a stupid, selfish girl, me, f***ed up her life and her family's entire finances just for the sake of revenge.
This is the title. Title story.
What? It's a long one. My friends say that my life is like a bad version of a slice of life, teenage K-drama, so hold on to your tits. Now, this is
If it's a slice of life, shouldn't you end up with a good ending, a happy ending, not where it appears to be the bad ending? You said you ruined your life. That's not a slice of life.
the kind of story that I hope others to learn from, especially those with tiger Asian parents. Let's start at 2020. Everything was as good as it can be. I had just graduated year 13, high school. I was awarded a scholarship to the university of my dreams. The tuition fees were astronomical, so my parents and I were in tears at the news. We're living on an international visa in New Zealand, and the tuition fees for international students for my major was $42,000 a year.
Jeez, what? Some of these international tuitions are out of this world.
A year.
But we were looking at some international student tuitions for something for friends. Oh my gosh, it was incredible. My scholarship was $15,000. If I was a citizen, the fees would have been about $7,000 per year, which I find fucking ridiculous because I've been here practically half of my life and pay taxes and everything. Anyways, that was the highest amount of money you could be awarded at this particular university, so I was over the moon. But that happiness wouldn't last for long. LMAO. I wish little old me would have realized sooner that I hated the major that I chose, and I started skipping lectures. I was like, oh, I'll watch it later, whatever, I'll just read the slides, and then I just wasn't going to university at all. I've always been a goody two-shoes because of my tiger Asian parents, especially my mother. My dad's never been aggressive, but he enables my mother, saying, you just gotta love her more. No, I've had enough of her. I'd dead rather lose her than the argument. I do not give a fuck. My mother has gotten away with her stupid, selfish, narcissistic behavior for all her life, and I have no patience left in me anymore. I was deeply hurt by something my mother said to me one day during high school. She had finally realized I wasn't worth all the money she was working up for me and told me straight up to my face right before I left to school. If she had said that to me now in 2022, you all would have agreed. But in my high school years, I was excelling at all my classes. I got awards every year, so I don't know what the hell she was regretting, or if she was just annoyed at something and took her anger out on me, like always. It's always been like that. She takes out her anger, her sadness, everything is dumped on me. I don't know how to exist in my home without pissing her off. My mom would give me the silent treatment for weeks if I even washed the dishes wrong. Meanwhile, my sister gets away with everything. So does my dad. Her reasoning, she spent a lot of money on me as a child and my sister didn't get any of it. My parents pay my sister and they feel like I should compensate for the money that they chose to spend on me. FYI, I love my sister more than anything, and I know it's not her fault that she gets better treatment. I'm rambling, but I hope you understand. I'm not just some selfish, emotional teenager. My mother has micromanaged everything in my life. She made me think she was the only one who loves me in this world and convinced me that in the end, everyone will leave me. I only got to have my own room when I was like 19.
But I mean, her sister's still there and her dad's still there, so how is that going to work when, you know, both of your parents and your sister are still there, and I'm assuming are still, they still love you, question mark, so that seems like a tough sell.
She always made me sleep in the same room as her and my sister. 3 beds in 1 room. And when you've been so deprived of privacy like that, you start getting real mental with your possessions. If I could lock up every single one of my things, I would. I lock my room with a wooden plank and a chair, not because I'm scared of a robber, but I'm scared of my family barging in. The feeling of my privacy being invaded makes me go insane, and nobody understands how important privacy is to me. Anyway, after hearing...
I understand that. I mean, I don't think I've had the same kind of, like, living situation, question mark. I'm not sure. But I am kind of, like, crazy when it comes to privacy. And I don't really explain that well to anyone or even try to explain it. I just let it happen and then get, like, really upset inside. I was gonna say, like, mentally, but get upset inside but don't express that I'm upset about my privacy being invaded.
Hearing my mother admit to me that I was not worth her money, I laughed out. And then I started crying. I was crying and laughing out of pure misery. It was like sick confirmation to me. I'd always thought that I was worth nothing, and to hear your parents finally admit it, it hurts like a fucking bitch. So what does goody two-shoes little old me do? I go to the school counselor and I spill all of our family's dirty laundry. And at first, I was just getting it off my chest, crying my eyes out, until he offered to give me a library pass for me to catch up on the studies in the library in solitude instead of going to classes because, you know, my anxiety was really bad at the time. Something clicked in my brain at the idea. I took the library pass and I fucking dipped out of school and I went to the mall. This was the first time I skipped school and it was the most nerve-wracking thing ever. But I
Okay, why did you take the pass to not go study and go to the mall instead?
found it so freeing. I was listening to your mukbangs as I strolled through the mall buying some new clothes. I have a part-time job, so I have my own money. And then I went back to school and I told my friends. They were all first shocked. Because out of the 4 of our friend group, I was the least expected to skip class. But this wouldn't be the last time. You know how I said I'm a goody two-shoes? Yeah, all the teachers knew me as that. I was essentially every teacher's pet. Even the teachers everybody hated, they loved me. And what does that give me? Favoritism. It worked very well in my favor. I lied and I lied and I lied my way through high school and they all believed me. I practiced lying to my mother for my whole life, so it paid off. I graduated high school with 99% attendance, but if you ask my friends, I was out of high school, missing for at least half the year.
Jeez.
Everyone was surprised I could even graduate because of how often they don't see me in class. And I got away with all of it because I was every teacher's little bitch. Clown emoji. But of course, this has consequences. Sure, I graduated with almost full attendance and...
Yeah, but if you're spending all that time not in school, you have learned nothing. So you go to college and you know nothing. Though it is current year, 2026, that doesn't mean anything anymore. Question mark. Because that was like the excuse for cheating back in the day. It's like, oh, if you cheat, you've learned nothing. And once you actually have to express what you've learned, you're not going to be able to do it, thus you can't. Like you might fail in college, you might just not be able to get a job because you don't actually know how to do anything at all. Question mark. But again, it is now current year 2026 where a person has actually graduated, I'm pretty sure, college, never learning anything and just using ChatGPT to answer all questions for him, question mark. And like that's all people are doing, using AI to write their essays, do everything for them. So it almost doesn't matter. You just use AI to do everything for you instead of just learning, question mark. And I don't know if that then further translates to the real world. Like if you're like trying to do a job in real life and you're just like, oh, let me just use AI to figure out how to do the job, or have AI do it for me. I mean, AI has already taken a bunch of jobs, right? But I don't know if you can still keep using AI to do things for you at your job. So then does it even matter if you can just beat school with AI, beat college with AI, then potentially use AI to do your job for you? Like, does anything matter anymore? Also, apparently there's a teacher, I don't know if shortage is the right word, teacher, we'll use the term teacher shortage as well, just for grade school. At least in America, I don't know about overseas or anything, I think. Just because apparently maybe the children are bad, like they have no discipline, so they're just not choosing to learn, question mark. I mean, you can't quote me on this, but there's a lot of teachers online, I think, saying this kind of stuff. No, kids have no discipline. They're not trying to learn. If you try to make them learn, they'll be verbally abusive, maybe even physically abusive to the teachers. So teachers are just like, I didn't sign up for this to be accosted by children all day. Like, they don't listen. They literally are threatening violence. Admin, which I think are the people at the top, obviously, at school, aren't doing anything for the teachers. Like, the teacher will be like, hey, kids trying to like beat me up, and they're like, oh well, right? So they're just like, kids aren't learning, kids are can't read or write anymore. And I mean, by kids, I mean like not like kids who like maybe they should be able to learn. I mean, not learn. Maybe they shouldn't be able to read or write yet. No, I mean like teenagers aren't able to read or write. Maybe even like people in their 20s. I don't know, 20s, like that seems a bit high. But like teenagers and preteens aren't able to read and write, allegedly, in the current grade system. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. Again, take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt, but it's like a mass amount of teachers online saying, hey, these kids aren't learning anything. They can't read, they can't write. They're just no discipline whatsoever. So what's going to happen in a few years when all these kids are out of school? Like, whoa, I don't know. Anyways, long freaking school tangent that just went on. I just hope nothing bad comes out of that, where apparently there's a whole generation that cannot read or write in freaking 2026. But again, like, is AI just going to do everything for everyone? I'm really worried that the planet is going to end up in a idiocracy state, which Idiocracy is a movie I might have mentioned before, but I'm pretty sure everyone knows what the movie Idiocracy is. But again, it is something I'm worried about, that we're going to end up in an idiocracy kind of state of being with humanity, or even a Wall-E state. Wall-E, same thing, right? People might know more Wall-E than Idiocracy, but Idiocracy was first, right? And it's more of a specific kind of dystopia over Wall-E, question mark, because Wall-E is not necessarily the same kind of dystopia that Idiocracy is. Just for anyone who doesn't know what Idiocracy is, it's essentially just guy and another girl, like, kind of like time travel to the future, and it's not like regular time travel. They get frozen, wake up in the future, and it turns out that all the, we'll just say, low IQ people were just constantly breeding, and then their children with lower IQs kept breeding with the other lower IQs, and just like keeps lowering and lowering and lowering. Also, all the high IQ people were like, we'll wait and see. It's not the right time. And then all the high IQ people just kept doing that and kept doing that and kept doing that, never having kids. And it's just like the IQ just keeps gradually lowering. And it kind of, that's what I'm worried about with these teachers saying, hey, these kids can't read or write, and they have no discipline. They will not listen. They're just crazy children. Parents won't do anything about it. So like, what happens when these, I guess it doesn't necessarily mean their IQ is going to be low, they're just ignorant, right? But what happens when these like no discipline, ignorant children, which again, ignorant is not a bad word, it's just, it means they are like lacking information. They could gain that information if they really wanted to. These ignorant children become adults, have their own kids, and then raise them even worse than they were raised by their parents. So even worse education. And then again and again and again, are we going to end up in an idiocracy situation? Question mark. I don't know. In crazy, like, kind of literal like social issue, which I haven't really talked about before. Any like really like hardcore issues like that I haven't really gotten into, but it is something I've thought about. It's like, oh yeah, when you watch Idiocracy like 20 years ago, like, oh, this is funny, this is so crazy. It's a satire, right? But it's like, wait, every year it feels like we're getting closer and closer to Idiocracy. And I'm pretty sure it was supposed to take like a while to get to that point, but I don't know. It seems like, especially with AI on top of that, it feels like we are just heading towards Idiocracy / Wall-E world. Question mark. It's just like how long it's going to take us to get there. I don't know. Anyways, maybe everyone just skipped this like long-winded rant about Idiocracy, but anyways.
And a few of my friends side-eyeing me to hell and back because they got 87% attendance, even though they never skipped school. They were sick.
Oh yeah, I forgot why we even were on this tangent, because she was saying she kind of screwed herself over. And that was because, I'm assuming it's because she's saying that because she learned nothing.
At least half the year.
Jeez.
Everyone was surprised I could even graduate because of how often they don't see me in class. And I got away with all of it because I was every teacher's little bitch. Clown emoji. But of course, this has consequences. Sure, I graduated with almost full attendance, and a few of my friends side-eyeing me to hell and back because they got 87% attendance, even though they never skipped school. They were sick. I horrendously was behind in all of my classes. Duh.
Yep.
Now we're in 2021, my first year in university. It was weird because as much as I wanted to enjoy being a freshman, I was just so burned out from studying that I felt dread. I was suffering from major self-image at the time. My social anxiety was through the roof, so I only made 3 new friends.
She was burnt out from studying? Didn't she just say she skipped half the year? When were you studying? If you spent half the year not studying, what?
All in all, I felt more anxious and lonely in the lecture theater full of other students that probably would have been my friends if I had just said hi. This drove me away from going to lectures. I can't explain it, but the anxiety I felt every time I had to pick up a seat next to yet another stranger just drove me crazy. Combined with the fact that I was so behind, I just didn't want to go.
She must at least have to have some like higher level of intelligence / knowledge, because I feel like you have to, like, to get into college or like actually start doing regular classes and whatever, you have to pass like the basic education stuff, right? Something like that. And if you're not able to pass a basic education class or not a class test, you have to, like, when you go to college, it's not actual college, you have to relearn everything you learned in high school. And is that just like a whole year dedicated to just learning high school stuff? Question mark. So it sounds like she's not doing that unless the school she's at doesn't have that kind of thing, or that's not a widespread thing, and that's just like a niche thing that happens here and there.
Wasn't sleeping well, so I couldn't wake up in time. Just sleep, I tried. I really did. That's what people said, just sleep. I physically could not sleep. And you know that feeling of walking in late and everyone looking at you like you ate their pet or something? I hate it so much. One morning I text my mother saying I arrived at university. I biked there. And she replied, okay. I proceeded to skip another lecture to study in the library instead. But what I didn't know was that my mother was waiting for me at the lecture theater that I was supposed to go to, but I never showed up.
Oh my god. Crazy. That just shows what kind of like parenting that is.
Holy.
So all hell broke loose when I came.
Oh, that's kind of helicopter-y, right? Helicopter parent, just like showing up to make sure you're doing stuff at school, not even school, university.
Home. I know I broke her trust, but what the hell are you doing? Tracking me down at university? Do you realize how creepy that sounds? And I didn't even skip to go shopping. I just went to study somewhere less crowded because I was anxious. This made me even more anxious to even go on campus because now I feel like my mom is always watching me from somewhere somehow. And then the kicker of it all, my dad had to move to our home country for work. We would be left in New Zealand as a family of 3 while my dad goes to work. His flight was on my 18th birthday. But that's fine. At least we celebrated before he left, but it still stung. And after he left, aka the morning of my birthday, I found my mother crying while sniffing my dad's clothes. The way she gathered his piles of clothes was like a child clinging onto a toy they were scared of someone stealing.
That sounds like perfectly fine. I don't know how she's trying to set this up, but that just sounds like someone who is really in love with that person, right?
It made me so sad. I'd never seen my mom like this. I've never seen
Yeah, it's like very romantic, right?
2 people love each other this much. The first month after he left, we were all just so sad. It was hell, being in a foreign country with one family member's presence missing, but I wasn't prepared for the war that would come once my mom got over her sadness. She was angry all the time, every day, at everything. She would start fights because I didn't wake up early enough to her liking. She took all her anger out on me, and our fights got more and more explosive. She's gotten physical many times, and Dad wasn't here to stop her anymore. I was crying because of her in the span of 3 months, more than I cried in all of last year. Just every single night, crying, yelling, screaming, rinse and repeat. My mother and I have never gotten along well, and without Dad, it was just like 2 explosives being forced together. I once took a selfie to send my grandma, and I cried because my face looked like it had aged 10 years. My eye bags were insanely swollen. I couldn't send that selfie to anyone. Every time we argued, she would yell at me to say something, and I would just stare into her eyes unblinking. There was a few times when I would sit and stare into her eyes for hours in silence. I've timed it before. The longest was 2 hours of me staring at her in silence, completely still, not even changing positions. I only stopped because I had to leave for work. Honestly, it's a little psycho of me. Everything changed when we argued so bad she started to get physical, and thank God I was wearing pants with zipped pockets. My mother tried to slam me into a wall to grab my phone in my pocket, unsuccessfully, and that set me fucking batshit. I screamed bloody murder, like just with everything I had. I yelled, I hate you, I want you out of my life, get away from me. And it shocked me because I didn't regret it. I didn't want to apologize because I didn't want to take it back. I meant every single word of it. After that day, my mother has completely changed. She acts like I don't exist around the house. I would talk to her and she wouldn't even acknowledge my presence.
I mean, she's giving the writer what she wants, but I don't know if it's even exactly what she wants. Like, I think the mom is doing it to be like she's doing it as like a gotcha, like, hey, I'm giving you exactly what you want, and she's gonna wait for her daughter to like break down and be like, okay, stop, please acknowledge me, I want you back in my life, whatever, you know, right? She's just doing it to try and break the daughter, question mark, by like giving her what she wants but not really what she wants. Though what happens when the writer actually likes this and just like, oh cool, don't have to deal with you anymore. I don't know if that's how it's going to turn out, but
she's acting like a victim, and I know it because she would mimic how I act when she was yelling at me. Occasionally she would blow up and we'd have another screaming match, make up, be nice for 3 days, and then she'll go back to pretending like I don't exist again. It continues like this in a loop. It's like we can't coexist without hurting each other. And I was just fucking mad. I had so much rage in me and I didn't know what to do with it. I wanted
Where's
to
the
hurt my
sister?
mother for all she has hurt me. And I remembered something she had said years ago. Nothing could hurt her because only her daughters mattered to her. So what does that tell me? I should hurt myself. I started starving myself. I already had an eating disorder way before this, so it's basically a relapse. And guess who made me develop an ED because of her non-stop body shaming? Ding, ding, ding.
okay, I think that's what the thing at the beginning, right, was about, the ED thing.
Mother dearest. I ruined my sleep schedule on purpose. I would try everything and anything to make myself sick. And finally, I ruined my grades. I thought if she won't let go of me because she wants me to study, maybe I'll just fail all my classes so she backs the fuck off.
So that's what she means by ruins her life. Like, flunks out of school is... I can't think of the word. What the heck? I don't know why I can't think of the word. It's not a bulimic, is it? No, she has the disorder. Question mark. And then what else she's gonna do? She can't go any further than that, right? You'd hope. I mean, she's alive, so...
I failed my first semester at university and told that to my mom's face. I just failed just to hurt you. And I didn't care if it would ruin my future. I just wanted to hurt her as deeply as she had hurt me. And bam, another explosive fight. She tried to guilt trip me by saying we can't live together anymore. I laughed in her face like, you just realized this now? We made plans to send me back to my country that night because I convinced them that I really wasn't worth the money. But the next morning, she wakes up all nice and gentle. It gave me such whiplash. Then she begged me to keep studying here, to try again, and I kept saying no until she got on the ground and almost bowed to my feet. And what was I supposed to do then? Say no? My dad doesn't even know she did that. He thought I just changed my mind and didn't want to fly back anymore. He found out later on that what she did to convince me, and he was upset. No parent should have done that, and it wasn't right to convince her child to make up her mind that way. I failed on purpose first semester, but the second semester, I tried to catch up, but my mental health started deteriorating even harder. The psychological mind games moms constantly played on me, gnawing at me from the inside out, I failed again. And now in 2022, I failed my third semester. Once again, I wasted 1.5 years of my life, and for what? For mommy issues? All that money wasted on me because what? I'm emotionally unstable? I'm not mature enough to keep my emotions in check? I'm not proud of it because it was dumb of me to fail on purpose, now that I reflect on it. But in that moment of anger, I didn't know what else to do. I was just so hurt. I wanted her to pay for it. She made me so miserable, I genuinely almost committed suicide so many times. She threatened me with a knife twice and tried to gaslight me into thinking that I threatened her with a knife. All I got out of failing my classes was wasting my youth to nothing. The university fees are not a joke, and it was all wasted on this stupid little emotional girl, me. I don't know, even like this inner voice of like blaming yourself like that. I wish I just found a better way to emotionally hurt my mother. I regret that my sister had to listen to us yelling so often. It must have traumatized her. She's as scared of me as she's scared of my mom, which says a lot. But I will never...
Yes, what I was saying, like, where's the sister at?
be like my mom. I'll never take my anger out on my sister, I promise you that. The reason why I can't back down from our arguments is because I can't let mom keep acting like this, or she'll give my sister the same treatment, and I'm not gonna let that happen. I love you, my little sis, more than anyone else in this world. I'm sorry you keep having to hear her scream and shout. I'm sorry you have such an irresponsible sister like me. You shouldn't idolize me, you shouldn't treasure me, but you do. And I'm scared one day you'll stop loving me just like mom said you would. Maybe one day you'll realize how selfish I was and slowly start to hate me. I don't know what I'd do if that happens, but I wouldn't blame you at all. I love you lots. I might hate my mom right now, but I'll always be endlessly grateful for the sister that she gave me. I still remember 6-year-old me waiting at the operation room door for the doctor to deliver you. I'll never forget when you held my finger for the first time. I hope you will still love me in the future. I'll go back to being your hero, big sis, soon. I promise. As for my mother, it's been months since she last said my name, even though we live together. I feel like there's no fixing our relationship anymore, and I don't think I want to fix us. But to everyone reading this, please don't be like me. It's not worth it. My family's future depended on me, and I failed them. Also, I don't care how sad or miserable you are. You have no right to take your misery out on someone else. No one deserves to be a fucking punching bag. And to anyone telling me to just move out, if we were in a better financial place, I would have done that ages ago. I'm also scared to leave my sister. What if she's the next punching bag? Anyway, I fucking love you so much, Stephanie, Steph Fiance, Dan, Tiffany, Mama Sue, Cindy, Andrew, Sophia, Little Mia, Mango, and Tiger too, even though I have a severe fear of dogs. They make Stephanie happy, so I love them too. I love all of you. Stephanie, I've watched every single one of your videos and podcasts ever since 2018, and I'm so proud of how far you've come. Sometimes when I lose motivation, I go back to watching your apartment hunting and moving videos, and I dream of a life like that. Thank you for existing. You've truly helped me through some dark times. Stephanie, you make me feel a lot less lonely, like a long-distance best friend. I even talk like you now, and it's kind of funny. Thank you. And Bis, I know you're going to say you don't deserve this or you didn't do anything. Just accept this one. How am I going to accept that one? You truly made an impact, at least on my life. Thank you. Okay, fine, I won't say that. But my sister is 6 years older than me. And there is nothing she could do, like no fights that she could get into with my mom, my dad, anyone. I love that woman to death. Like, I love my sister to death. And I don't think your sister is ever gonna start loving you. Like, it's, yeah. And like, my mom has gotten better now, but there was like points where I do think that my mom may have triggered some uncomfortable food-related relationships in me. And I always went to my sister. If I had problems with my parents, I always go to my sister. Like, I can't go to anyone else. It's my sister. So I don't know. Maybe it's like the 6-year age difference. There's something. It's almost like she's like my pseudo mom. Maybe that's how your sister feels about you. But I just know for a fact she's not going to stop loving you. That's crazy. And you're going to have this one day. You're going to be at the mall and have your kids dropped off upstairs in your little sister's house. Because that's where my sister's kids are right now, upstairs. Probably making a mess. We're going to walk up there. It's going to be destroyed. And my loving sister is at the mall right now, okay?
How old are the kids? Aren't they really young? Are they unsupervised? Question mark. I'm assuming that the parents are there, right? Or not the parents, like their parents, like either Stephanie's parents or his parents. Because what do you mean there's kids upstairs up unsupervised? Question mark.
That's gonna be you. And then you're gonna go apartment hunting, and then you're gonna write in this confession box, you're gonna be like, bitch, I just moved out, and it's amazing. Okay?
Her life's gonna get better.
Yeah, that's how it's gonna be. And no one can tell me or you otherwise. Just give it time. I love you so much. And I love all of you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. So yucky right here. I'm so yucky.
It's a lot today.
But I love you guys so much.
Okay, well, that is going to be the end of that video. There's only like, what, 3 seconds left, right? So, yep, same as usual. Just the juicy what did I say it like that? Juicy confessions. We had to start off with like the gross one, right? Like, oof. And this one was just like, I don't even know what to say about the fighting and whatnot that's happening. Though this one did make us go into a incredibly long tangent about the states of society's intelligence, question mark, and the abuse of AI and heading towards idiocracy / Wall-E world. I don't know if these things are just inevitable with how humanity is. Like, we're just going to end in a Wall-E world. Like, there's nothing we can do about it. Because you, like, forcing humans, I think, to be inefficient is just, like, not going to happen. I think, like, we're just keep, like, edging upwards to just being more efficient, and more efficient. Which eventually just puts us into a Wall-E world situation where we're just blobs in a chair. Or I think even before Wall-E, I don't know, was there some story about us just turning into like floating jello? Question mark. Just floating brain jello. Because like, why do you need a body? Just fly it around. Like, if efficiency just eventually turns us into just floating brains? Question mark. But I don't know if we like really thought too far ahead with like how AI is, and I don't know. That's assuming AI just doesn't blow up the planet, right? That's always been the problem with AI for the last 20 years that we've been doomsdaying, is the planet being nuked from AI. Which I'm not saying that's not going to happen. That could be a scenario I am worried about. So who knows what happens with that? It also is going to create more social issues. Do we just like have this be the social commentary episode? Because even if it doesn't turn into AI blows up the planet, again, there is still the whole AI thing of making human life so efficient we just become, idiocracy world, or the other ends, Wall-E world. Because again, two different kind of scenarios. Because idiocracy world is just, you are kind of just sitting in your room hooked up to a bunch of nonsense, and you have like an IQ of like 5, and everything's just automated. And then same thing with Wall-E, but I guess Wall-E specifically just because like everyone's like what, 1,000 pounds on floating chairs, and everything's automated for them as well. They're similar. They're very, very similar, but it's kind of a different feeling between the two. Because I don't know if necessarily everyone in Wally World is incredibly unintelligent, whereas in Idiocracy, that's the entire point. All of humanity has become like below 70 IQ. I think. Something like that. Again, going back to where I was going to go with that. Even if planet is getting nuked, I think the obsession with efficiency might still happen, but then there's also a new thing that becomes an issue where AI becomes so advanced, we start associating it with it having a soul, because we're going to start putting those in bodies. Like, we already got the robots coming together. We're going to put the AI into it. Now all of a sudden we've made a new species, and you know what's going to happen with that new species? People are going to want to give it rights, and so now we have another social issue being caused, and it's going to be, who knows if there's going to be like wars or like fights or whatever that come out of being like, okay, we've created robots, we created AI, we believe they have free will and souls now, so we have to give them rights, and there's going to be people who don't want to give the robots rights, there's going to be people who do want to give them rights, and wars could end up coming out of that. So there's also like an outcome of AI that I don't know if anyone's like really thought about. Well, I mean, they probably have thought about. There's commentary on that, but it is a scenario that could happen. Other than the three that you normally are thinking about, well, the two, which is the AI blows up the planet, which is that, what is it called? Skynet? The Skynet from Terminator? Like, that's what I'm talking about, like Skynet. So you have your Skynet scenario, or you have your Wally World, Idiocracy World levels of AI, or automation, I should say, where it's just doing everything for us, and we've become like really dumb as a species. But then again, like, my third injection into that is the AI becomes so advanced, we start putting in robots, they become their own species, and now we have a issue with civil rights for the robots, and now we're fighting and scrapping for their rights, and who knows what's going to come out of that. But we've created a problem. We've created a civil rights problem that didn't exist if we didn't create AI, ? And now we have to fight and bicker over that. So that's a third option, and that could then end up leading back to Skynet, ? Like, those things aren't mutually exclusive, because if you, again, AI and robots, free will, whatever, try to give them rights, we don't give them rights, they get mad, Skynet. And that turns into Skynet because of how advanced the AI. You could argue the AI is going to be more advanced than us, right? Anyways, we can get off this long-winded tangent, but at least I was talking about something. Again, I do want to at least have some sort of discussion or talk other than just saying yeah or whatever. So, like, saying nothing of substance when reacting to stuff, right? I want to actually have some sort of substance here, so it's just something to think about with AI, because it is, like, all those possibilities are something that could happen. So, not to make everyone be worried about them coming to fruition, but again, just something to think about. I don't know if anyone's going to have any 2 cents on that, because people don't comment that often. But if you have 2 cents on that, go ahead. As long as you're not a hater. If you're a hater, you know what's going to happen to you. You're going to be put on the hater segment at the beginning of the video. But yeah, guys. Not guys. I can't stop saying guys. I know I said it for like 13, 14, a bajillion years, but we are now on to saying cuties. So yeah, cuties. Thanks for watching. Remember to buy my stickers or think about becoming a member. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. We're going to watch time and subscribers, and don't forget, we have a throne now as well. And shout out to the members, EmmyStarr, RaleyDrew, and alexgkiller 880. Yeah, cuties. Thanks for watching. Tune to the next episode. Like, subscribe, hype. I always forget about hyping, but hype and comment. Especially comments. I've said it before. I look forward to comments. I need more comments. I want to wake up and have comments to read. So please. But yep, like, subscribe, hype, and comment. You know the do. See ya.